Welcome to the Yoga Clinic. My name is Becca, and I'm very excited to share this flow with you today on finding balance. So obviously we'll be doing a lot of balancing postures, but we're also going to work a lot on the core, the solar plexus, to help find more stability in our balanced postures and in our lives. So without the core, we're just floppy noodles flopping around. So we need this stable stem, if you will, for all of our leaves and flowers to be supported. So today we're going to use a block, and then I will meet you on your mat for a grounding exercise. So finding a comfortable seat and taking a breath in through your nose and then a sigh out of your mouth. And for me, there's a natural settling that happens when I take a moment to take a breath like this. And you may be called to let your eyelids shut, letting your hips sink down into the earth, letting the earth support you. And then we'll imagine that we have the ability to breathe directly in and out through our heart, like there were two nostrils in the center of your chest. Breathing into that space. Just letting the mind settle as you bring your center of awareness into the body and out of the head. So for a lot of us in the West, we assume that meditation is something that needs to be achieved. But really, meditation is simply slowing things down in your mind and in your environment, slowing things down to a stop. And then noticing what is already here, what is left over. Meditation is our most natural state. We're going to blink the eyes open. Hello. And we're going to start by stretching out the hip flexors and then moving into some core work. So I find that if I don't warm up my hip flexors before I do core work, then they tend to hold all of the tension, which is good, but we also want to target the rest of the core as well. So we'll come into a low lunge position. Right foot forward, left foot back. Taking the hands down to either side of your right foot. And we'll take a moment to breathe here. And as you continue to build the breath, we'll begin to sink a little further into the back hip, maybe. Bringing the chest through the arms and extending up through the crown of our heads. And from here, it might feel nice to sway the hips side to side. We'll take the left hand down inside the right foot, and we'll reach the right arm up on the inhale. And as you exhale, extending the right arm behind you, taking a look at your right thumb. Or you might curve the hand around the low back, reaching for the left hip point. Then you can just let the head fall down towards the floor. Right arm will reach back up to the sky, circling around and landing outside the right foot. We'll inhale, coming to fingertips, pulling the chest through. And then exhale, tuck your back toes and begin to straighten your front foot. Curling the nose in towards the belly. Inhale, drop the back knee down. Open the chest. You might begin to extend the arms here if that's good for you. And then exhale, hands flutter down. Press down into your front foot and straighten the front knee. Again, inhale, low lunge, maybe taking the arms up, maybe even circling them back behind you, grasping opposite fingers, making a fist and opening the heart. Good, inhale. And then exhale, let's find our long pyramid shape, straightening the front knee. And this time, option to take that fist overhead, letting the back of the neck be long, and scissoring your inner thighs in towards one another. Belly's drawing in. Good. We're going to come through a wide-legged forward fold shape facing the edge of our mat to circle all the way to the other side. Runner's lunge, left foot forward. We'll drop the right knee. Bring some activation into the top of the right foot and into the right glute. We'll take a moment to breathe here, getting long through the crown of the head. And here, as you press down through your front foot and the top of the back foot, feel this subtle lifting in your pelvic floor. So that is Mula Bandha. That is your root chakra. And it's also the site of an energetic lock in the body. So if we stimulate this lock, Mula Bandha, we can find more core control in addition to many other benefits. So it'll be important to engage the root chakra in more challenging balance postures. And see if you can find that point and draw it up into the abdomen. So pelvic floor up into the center of your lower belly. Good. Tuck the back toes. We'll inhale. And on the exhale, let's straighten the front knee, folding over the front leg. Long pyramid, Parsvatonasana. Inhale, low lunge, maybe taking the arms overhead. Exhale, flutter the hands down, coming to fingertips. Tuck your back toes, Parsvatonasana. Inhale, low lunge. Inhale, arms reach up and maybe circling them around. We'll keep that weight in both feet, feeling the lift of the pelvic floor. So we're not just dumping forward. There's stability in our core here. Knuckles reach down, chest reaches up. Look up, inhale, and then exhale, no hands. Tuck the back toes, find your long pyramid. Scissoring the inner thighs in towards one another, curling the cervical spine, your neck, into a question mark shape. Good. And then we'll come all the way back through our wide-legged fold. So the right foot is forward, and then we'll sit down at the top of the mat. So setting up for some Navasana variations. We'll begin with the knees together and bent. Let's balance on the sitting bones. Knees make roughly a 90-degree shape. Keep your block handy. We don't need it right away. Let's take the hands onto the thighs here. So already this is difficult. We're going to push the hands into the thighs, and as we do that, pushing thighs into the hands, let your chest come back slightly. See if you can find Mula Bandha here. And then continuing that line of energy up into the low belly. So we're feeling the deep, low core muscles turn on. Pyramidalis, transverse abdominis. Really important in finding like press-ups and tucks and for holding this Navasana. Good. Thighs into hands, hands into thighs. Let's move slowly into a low boat, pressing out through the balls of the feet evenly. Good. And then resist. We're coming back into Navasana with bent knees. Thighs into hands, hands into thighs. Resist, resist, resist. Coming to sit up straight, finding Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, which is that second chakra. This is all deep core muscles. And then drawing the rib cage down and finding the center, the point where your rib cage comes to a point. Just below that point is the location of your solar plexus, your third chakra, Manipura, which is the site of your ego and also the source of your power. Good, we're going to come down one more time, very slowly into low boat, hands into thighs, thighs into hands. Keep the feet engaged, belly pulling down, pelvic floor drawing up. Don't forget to breathe. And then let's come back up. Slower than you want to go. Ooh, good. Extend your hands forward. We'll hold here for 5 breaths. Can you smile? Pelvic floor draws in. Good. Cross at the ankles. Step your feet to the back of the mat. Plank pose. Spread your hands nice and wide. Pressing down through the center of 2 palms. The center of your palms actually tent when you press down into this. So we want almost a lock happening here. Pressing down into all 10 fingers and the outer edges of the hand. So our center of weight is over the center of the hand, but the center of the hand is actually lifted. There's a slight arch there. Extending the heels backwards. Firing up the quads. Letting your spine be really long. Hugging the ribs in. Hugging the arm bones in. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. Swaying side to side, perhaps taking some moments here. Then feel for rooting down through all 4 corners of your feet. If your heels don't touch the mat here, I want you to just imagine that they do, so that we're evenly distributing the weight between the big toe and little toe, littlest toe, and then the 2 edges of your heel. Feel your hips drawing up and away from you. Look forward. Step forward. We'll come into a Malasana squat. So sinking the butt down, turning the toes outwards. So this posture is challenging for my ankle because I just broke it, so the mobility is not very good. But this is a really good warm-up posture for standing balance because it warms up the ankle. So already some of us are balancing here, and if you're like me and can't quite get both heels down, you can sit on your block. Extend your tailbone down, reach the crown of the head tall, breathe. And then again, finding the 4 corners of your foot here. So we'll feel the inner arch lift. Hands will come down. Let's turn the toes in. Finding a forward fold at the top of the mat with wide legs. Letting your head be heavy. Relaxing your core. Relaxing the upper body. But firm through the inner thighs. We'll bend the knees and slowly roll up to stand. Roll the shoulders back and down. Get tall through the crown of your head. Sink the weight down into the feet evenly. Feel the collarbones spreading. Feel your shoulder blades spreading. Wide chest. Good. We'll step the feet underneath the hips if they're not already there. Finding our first standing balancing posture. We'll circle sweep the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Press down through the feet, reach up through the hands. Extending up through the fingertips, pressing down through the feet. And then extend your hands, or flexing. You're going to flex your wrists so that the back of the hands come down towards the top of the head and the palms shine up towards the ceiling. So imagine that you're in handstand here. We'll push the floor away. We need the shoulders engaged to activate. Now from here, if this is already hard for balance, stay. Otherwise, we're going to come onto tiptoes, and I want you to remember your core. So lifting the heels over the toes, and then pulling up Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and then drawing the ribs down to hug your solar plexus. Turning the hands slightly outward is going to allow for more opening across the shoulders. Focus your drishti on one point. Where the eyes go, the mind goes. Arm bones pulling back by the ears, reaching up through the hands, active legs, active core. Inhale. Exhale, lower your heels. Inhale, reach back up, keeping the hands lifted. And then exhale, lower the heels, circle the arms down. Whew. We'll find warrior 3 from here, starting on the right leg. Hands can come to the hips to start. And then we'll sweep the left leg back, finding a Digasana to start, which basically just means keep your front knee bent. Lowering the center of your chest down and lifting your back heel up. Remember to spread your collarbones, spread the shoulder blades. Hands are on hips so you can kind of guide them to stay square. Flex your back foot, feel the back leg muscles turn on. Good, we'll find a revolved half moon from here. So you can use your block under this left hand. It'll come slightly forward of the left shoulder. And then we'll inhale, extend, drop the left hip down, reach back through the left foot, forward through crown of head, and then spin the chest towards the right and extend your right arm high. Gaze can go up towards your top thumb, keeping the back heel engaged, back glute engaged. Really good, y'all. We'll come back to warrior 3, taking the hands to the hips. Inhale, and then exhale, lower, bending your right knee more, keeping everything else the same, so that the torso can hover over the right thigh. Good, straighten your right leg back up, or close to straight. And then we'll come through to pistol squat. No hands is a challenge. You can take your hands down. We'll bend the right knee to sweep the left knee into the chest, extend it forward, and catch. All right, challenge is to reverse our steps. Left knee to chest, straighten the right leg, and then step the left foot to the back of the mat. All right, so we are set up here for some handstand play, if you'd like. We'll play with our split L's. So let's slide the right foot back slightly. Take the hands down in front of your right foot about a foot. And then we're going to find those active arms, just like in our upright handstand. So pushing the floor away, lifting the back leg high, and then we will jump off of the right leg, pulling the right thigh bone into its socket. Active legs. And coming down into down dog. Drop your knees. Drop your forearms. Grab your block. All right, we are going to do Pincha Mayurasana play with the block for stability. So building off of this quest for balance, we will take the forearms down so they're parallel, and then with the L's of your hands, holding the edges of your block on TV setting. Find dolphin pose, Pincha. And then stepping the feet in as close as they will go to your forearms. And the same principles apply. We'll push into the forearms so that the shoulders are active. Taking one leg up, finding your Pincha shape. Use your core here. And then for hollow back, keeping the core engaged, take your head through your arms. And then take your feet back behind you, pointing the toes. And coming out. Taking a child's pose. Oh, they feel good, but they're hard. Good work, y'all. So we're going to do all that work on the left side, and then we will find one peak posture, which will be super soldier, which is just optional. And we'll cool it down. So from downward dog, we will step the left foot through the hands, and keeping the hands down, we'll move into warrior three. So the right leg is going to lift off of the mat. We'll take the hands to hips. And again, you can keep a little bend in this standing leg. No problem. You can keep it bent the whole time. Grounding down through all four corners of your standing foot, but not clenching your toes. Let the stability come from the bigger muscles in your thigh and then in your core. Feel your right leg active. And then we'll find our revolved half moon. Taking the right fingertips down to your block or to the floor, just forward of your right shoulder. Drop your right hip point down, extend forward through the crown of the head, lift your back heel and pull your core in, and then rotate your chest towards the left, taking your left arm high, keeping the right leg active. Strong standing leg. Left hand down. We'll come back into our warrior three. Hands come to the hips, and we'll take one pulse here. Bend your left knee, lower your chest onto the left thigh, and then press back up. Pistol squat. I'm going to take my hands down for this side. It's my injured ankle. Option to keep your hands on your hips. We'll bend the left knee, sweep the right knee into the chest, and then come through to pistol squat. Coming into a low lunge from here, press down into your standing leg, sweep your left leg back, and step it to the back of your mat. Finding our split L's, second side, dragging the left foot into the center of your mat, lifting your right leg high. Take your hands under your shoulders, spread your fingers. Pointers point forward, back leg is active. Take your gaze down, hold it on one spot, and then begin to jump. And we'll come out to down dog. Okay, super soldier. In my head, this was the peak posture. I feel like we've done a lot of hard things already, but we will find it. Okay, Step your feet to the center of your mat or top of the mat and slowly roll to stand. So, for Super Soldier, we're going to find a forward fold to start. I'll do this way. Hands come to the hips. Let's hinge at the hips. Taking your hands down under the shoulders. Think about like your Ardha Uttanasana shape. Walk your right foot towards the center of the mat and then extend the left leg back. Now from here, we're going to take the hands inside the right foot. As best as you can, we'll begin to stack the hips for a half moon shape with our hands close in. Now we'll walk the right shoulder behind the right, or into the right inner thigh, and take your left hand forward a little bit. So we're in a revolved half moon kind of, except our hips are stacked and our chest is moving outwards instead of into the twist. Now bend this top foot, and then we'll reach the right arm for the left thigh. The left, top of the left foot. Press your right tricep into your right inner thigh and lift your left leg high, your left knee high. Pull your chest through. And then release. Coming back to our forward fold. Second side. Let's see if we can do this more gracefully. We'll extend the right leg back. Let's keep this right hand forward, right fingertips forward. And then we'll stack the hips and walk the left shoulder into the left inner thigh. Here, I'll switch sides. Bend your top knee and reach for the top of your right foot. Open your hips out to the side, lift your right knee, pull your chest through. Release. Square your hips, come into your fold. We'll inhale, halfway lifts, let your knees bend. And then exhale, lower down to your belly. We'll come into our Sphinx pose. I'm going to keep my toes tucked. You can keep your toes flat. Forearms parallel. Extend your tailbone back. Let your heart shine through. Stretching, open the core. Opening the ribs. Slowing the heart rate down by slowing the breath. Settle down into it. And we'll come down onto the belly, taking the head onto the hands or one cheek down. And then let's press up and press back into Balasana, child's pose. Slowly come up. We'll take a Baddha Konasana, bound angle. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Letting the pinky toes kiss, we'll take the thumbs in the arches. Inhale, get tall, pull the elbows back behind you, shoulders down and away from your ears. Exhale, fold forward. Letting the contents of your pelvis spill forward. Relaxing your core. Tucking your chin, slowly coming up. Bringing the knees together and making your way onto your back. Take the feet wider than your mat. Let your knees knock together for a moment here. And then finding your Shavasana shape. Releasing the breath. Coming back into our natural state of stillness. As you move back into your day, I invite you to recall the stability that you have within you, the steady, grounded strength to maintain balance, to maintain this inner calm, even as life becomes tumultuous and rocks and rolls us side to side. Stillness is your natural state. It's always within you. May you keep that close at hand. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.